Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Halloween movie commentary thing. Today we're doing the 2019 animated Addams Family film. Okay, so here's a little story. I'm a big fan of the Addams Family, which is why I picked it for this commentary for this Halloween run. Um, and it's a movie that I kind of wanted to talk about because I find this movie did get a short end of the stick from the critics because of reasons that don't make much sense to me. But we'll see how things go. Little brief history for those who are not familiar. Don't worry, I'll be quick about the Addams Family. The Addams Family was created by an American cartoonist called Charles Addams back in the 1930s, 1930
Something.
specifically. But so basically, the strips went on for a long time actually, like even throughout the 70s and 80s. In fact, Fang was introduced in 1954 only, to give you an idea. And then Morticia's pet lion, Kitty Cat. There you go, Shiri. Morticia has a pet lion called Kitty Cat. Have that as you will. In 1964. So yeah. Another thing that happened that's important for this movie is the 1960s sitcom where Charles Addams actually was involved with. Because, fun fact, back in the strips, the characters didn't have names. It was only later that the producer of the TV series asked Charles Addams to come in and give them names and more personality traits, to make because, just basic punchlines wouldn't really make for a good sitcom. You need a bit more character than that. And let's just say that's the 60s sitcom became the de facto base adaptation that all adaptations following will be based on. Basically, that's where the iconic theme song was created. So, all right. So this movie was made by Debs. Why don't you introduce to us the directors of this movie and what they made?
The directors, Greg Tiernan and Conrad Vernon, directed the ever so popular, well-remembered, and clearly beloved by all the people that worked on it, Sausage Party.
Huh. I mean, I don't hate that movie. I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for it. Not bad. What else? What else did they do?
As for previous films, Conrad Vernon directed Shrek 2.
Oh, nice.
Monsters vs. Aliens.
Not so much
Middle
nicer.
of the road.
And Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted.
Very good.
As for Greg Tiernan, he directed Hero of the Rails. Thomas and Friends.
Oh,
Missed
the
the Island
Thomas
Rescue.
movie.
That movie.
No. Thomas and Friends Missed the Island Rescue from 2010, not the 2000 movie. And also Thomas and Friends Day of the Diesels. So they either directed very good movies or dreck.
Okay. Day of the Diesels was good, but Misty Island Rescue, that one sucked.
I didn't know that one had two versions, but
We're
that's
in
not
for a
important
ball.
right now.
So as you can tell, we're in for a treat.
Okay then, let's see. This movie got rather mixed reception upon going. That said, moviegoers were more easier on the movie than critics here and there. That said, there were still some people who had some split reactions here and there. That said, we can hopefully expect improvements all around the board, good or bad, for the sequel, which, yes, has been confirmed to be coming.
Didn't MGM said that it was still successful in some kind of way?
It was actually successful in the box office. Yes.
All right then.
That's the thing too. Like casual audiences that I've talked to when it comes to the movie actually really did enjoy it. Sure, enjoyed it. So, so honestly, I still think the movie is it's pretty good for what it is. But
I believe Pixie enjoyed it also.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it for myself.
That's the thing, Shira. That's the thing, Shira. Pixie outright loved it. That's the thing.
All right. For reference, audience, in case you need to know where to start, if I recall correctly, Pedro mentioned that the European copies might have the Universal distribution logo sticked in the middle. So unfortunately, we need to skip the custom MGM logo that we put it here. I think it involves Kitty Cat itself.
Yes, basically, since MGM has a lion, they put in Kitty Cat, aka Morticia's pet lion, playing with a ball in the custom MGM logo. So basically, everybody, that's basically, don't worry, you're not missing much. Anyway, we'll skip all logos, including the Braun logo, because right after the Braun logo, the movie starts. So skip all logos, everybody. Pause in the black screen right after the Braun logo fades out, and you should be in sync with us. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, click. As a big fan of the Addams Family, and I have seen pretty much all of the adaptations, like, I personally went into this movie based on the trailers. Okay, so from what I can tell from the trailers, this is basically going to be much like the 90s cartoon, which I really like. And personally, that's exactly what I got, at least for me. So I'm fine with that. I love this alarm clock, by the way. Oh yeah, here's another thing that is interesting, because the director said that they intentionally made the character designs of this movie more faithful to Charles Addams' original strips. So the character designs in this movie are much more faithful to how they originally looked. So sorry, Jova.
Wait. Sorry, me?
No. I remember you said during our Sucker Punch commentary that you prefer when Gomez is taller and thinner. But
No. What I said was that I actually do understand why they made the family like this. That's not what bugs me. What bugs me is, the quote-unquote normal-looking people looking like Illumination characters in this movie. But we'll get to that later.
Sure.
I'm personally more of a casual fan. I've actually watched kind of all across, in general, all across the board. I've seen a bit of the live-action series. I've seen a bit of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I've seen a bit of the new Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and I've seen the live-action movies.
One thing that I also sorry, go ahead.
Now, I will say this. I do prefer the live-action Addams Family films. Like, that I will admit to. Sure. Not so much because of the character designs, though I will admit I do prefer the looks there, but I'm fine with the looks of the characters with it being in character.
So who are the characters played by?
Oscar Isaac plays Gomez.
Seriously?
Yes. That's why I made that joke in our Sucker Punch commentary, that he looked kind of like Gomez, which is interesting because he plays Gomez in this movie. Morticia is played by Charlize Theron, so awesome.
Sure.
Already from the beginning, one thing that I do really like is this is the first time ever that a piece of media has actually tried to tell an origin story for the family. Because, in the strips, it starts with only Morticia and Gomez, and then they later have their kids, but we never actually get to see their wedding if they're already married in the beginning of the strips. Especially because in the strips, I don't really have that much characterization. It was only with the 60s sitcom that Charles Addams started infusing a bit more characterization. So I actually do appreciate the fact that this is kind of an origin story of sorts as well.
Well, shit.
Okay, I will just say this.
You couldn't have waited until after the wedding, but
that's
go ahead,
very
Jova.
inconsiderate.
Go ahead, Jova.
Yeah.
Yes, Jova?
You may notice that this plot actually does take a few cues from a lot of stuff here. Notably Hotel Transylvania.
Well, that's not surprising at all.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I remember that. I remember that episode of the Addams Family cartoon.
They had a trebuchet
decided they had enough of the Addams and fired on them.
There's a lot of adaptations of the Addams Family where some angry mobs try to, evict them because they're freaks or something like that.
Also, classic Kirsty Frankenstein imagery, which again, the entire the franchise is basically a love letter to Universal classic monsters.
For me, Jeff, it's one of those things. Yeah, I will agree with you that the Addams Family Values is still the best Addams Family movie. I just find the first Barry Sonnenfeld film to be a bit weird with the whole amnesia.
Jeez, the movie's huge.
To be honest.
I think that movie's on Netflix now.
Is it?
I recommend it, even though I do have a bit of an issue with the whole amnesiac Gomez thing. It's still a really good movie. Sorry, amnesiac Fester thing. All right, here, out of this joke here. Welcome to New Jersey. What are you looking at? So, Java, you want to elucidate on that joke, if you don't mind?
Well, I mean, it's a joke as old as time, but...
Yeah, I think there was like one of the Yogi Bear crossover episodes that actually poked fun in the same way.
Pretty much.
It's a very American joke.
Oh, and look at that. Thing is their chauffeur.
It's the same joke as having Canada as a punchline.
Wait, who's holding the gas pedal?
You.
Tisha is played by Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
I
Joe
already
mentioned.
said that.
Sorry, Pedro mentioned.
True. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's a common thing of Gomez. Gomez loves it when Morticia's.
He's very passionate.
There you go, Jova. Apparently,
Oh,
Thing
shit.
there you go, Jova. Apparently, Thing is very good at multitasking when driving.
Apparently not,
except,
considering how he
well,
just hit someone.
We hit something, guys.
Yay!
Yay!
He committed.
Did we kill it?
He killed
Last I remember, the plot of I Know What You Did Last Summer was not this happy.
Here's an interesting bit about Lurch. Yeah, this is Lurch, by the way.
Perfect.
Yeah, so there you go. Lurch is an escapee from a mental asylum, apparently. Oh, look at that nice-looking house. I know, right?
Whatever.
Might as well, Lurch. Why not?
Probably better than where you were.
Well, apparently they're taking him back to where he came from, since this is apparently the asylum.
Huh.
Or at least that's what they... Oh, no, it actually is.
All right. An interesting thing about this origin story from this movie is that it's partly inspired by a certain episode from a throwaway line from a certain episode of the '60s sitcom. In fact, me and Theo actually watched it before we started this commentary. Actually,
Mysterious and spooky.
I see what they did there.
And of course it comes with a pipe organ. Like all nonsense
as you do.
As all
Alright,
nonsense.
if
High
you're gonna like this joke, origin story for the theme song.
Hmm?
No.
Nah.
Too classic.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
No. No.
All right.
Yeah, it just needs to be more snappy.
Literally.
There you go. The house is haunted.
Oh no, this is Donkey Kong 64.
This one.
Perfect.
It's.
Oh.
Yeah, basically.
Notice this.
Used to be an asylum.
Wow, even the storm is humming the song.
There you go. God is pleased with your choice.
For some
Alright.
reason.
But yeah,
Yeah. God
in the-
always knows. I
in the
guess.
'60s sitcom, there's a throwaway line about how their house was originally haunted when they first came in. So yeah, this movie took that and basically rolled with it. So nice little reference there.
There's Wednesday.
Yes.
AKA the
yeah,
kid
it's
who
interesting.
always gets the screen
Might
time.
as- Actually, there's another thing I might as well mention. The characterization of this movie is kind of a mix. Most of the characterization is based on the '60s sitcom. However, to Shiro's delight, they went with the Barry Sonnenfeld type of
And
Wednesday.
they included Snoop Dogg as it.
Oh, so
Yes.
wait. So you're telling me that is another occasion
And
where
Bette
Wednesday
Midler
gets
as
most of his
Grandma
screen
Granny.
time?
No, Theo, don't worry. Well, actually, Wednesday does have the more the bigger arc of this
The
movie.
villain, it's a thing that I wasn't really too keen even in the other movies. The fact that Pugsley always gets the short end of the stick.
Actually, Pugsy has his own subplot in this movie as well, if it helps.
All right.
13 years later.
They even made custom of the. There you go.
Well, at least they changed the asylum logo.
Yeah, custom made. Even the gate was.
That's like us Welsh waking up in the morning.
Catching pneumonia is fun. Hey. Everyone is.
All right, gotta feed the house. There you go.
I hate coffee.
How do you wake up then, dwarves?
Well, the answer to that is simple, Shiroi. I eat breakfast.
Well, Dwibs, I'm sorry, but apparently the house does like coffee.
Woman.
He's reading Little Women, yeah.
Lurch is a man of culture. Come on.
Yeah, Lurch is a man of culture, exactly, see?
I wonder we don't see Morticia drink it. She just dumped it in the toilet where it belongs.
Alright, we're about to get a joke for the adults. There you go.
What a foot fetish.
I see Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, it's Quentin Tarantino's folder.
There you go. So there you go. Fang has a foot fetish, of all things.
I mean, obviously that tracks.
Interesting trait to give to Fang.
Well, I think he... Oh, no. That was usually a lady's hand back in the day. There may have been that one episode where he did have a crush on a foot.
And as always, Morticia loves taking care of carnivorous plants. There you go. Make it all nice and dusty. Very good, Lurch.
Perfect.
Funny, the house in the TV show, live action one, was decently clean.
I guess it's like one thing, like being animated, we take advantage of that.
Yeah. Aren't they cute when they're asleep? Yeah. There you go, Dwez. How's this? You were talking about waking up. How's this for an alarm clock?
Oh, the tree's called Ichabod.
Yep.
This is entertaining.
So who are the kids voiced by?
Wednesday's played by Chloe Grace Moretz. I forgot who plays Pugsley though.
Is it Nick Kroll?
Finn Wolfhard.
I don't know him, so I can't really.
He's a Canadian actor who's only 17 years old, and at this moment he's been in films such as both It movies, the recent ones, I mean, and he's going to star in the upcoming Ghostbusters 3-2.
I think you would like rewatching the nice cartoon tale, because the nice cartoon focuses a lot on the sibling relationship between Pugsley and Wednesday. I'm guessing you probably really like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the music for this film was done by Michael and Jeff Danner.
Yeah, the Danner brothers, who also did the score for Onward.
Of course, in typical fashion, Wednesdays...
And The Good Dinosaur.
He's not good at socializing.
Well, not only that, but her hair is also fashioned after nooses.
Oh, sure.
Oh, there's also part of the story too, because as a result of being literally chased from their original country, Morticia kind of forbids the kids from even leaving their house, because she's very paranoid about leaving. She's very paranoid about leaving her family to the wolves, kind of. This will come up later. There you go, Taylor. Let's some Pugsley shenanigans for you.
Firing a nuke.
Well, there's a kid gets to have his fun, can he?
But what if the kid's dead? He can't have much fun then, can he?
Are you allowed to live on the edge, Lives?
You worry too much, Lips.
Yeah, literally.
They do, don't they? You see some father and son bonding time, dudes.
Damn it, I don't know.
Pretty
I
average
wish
stuff.
you had this budget.
It's interesting because the budget for this movie wasn't very high, but I actually do think visually the movie looks good.
How
For
much
the
was
most
it?
part.
I'll check.
The explosions look good enough, if you ask me.
Oh, yes, they look fine.
Let's see. On a budget of $24 million,
Hold on, this
it
is important.
grossed 203
Okay.
million.
No pressure, though.
That's always fun.
You know, all things considered, Gomez should be totally into demolition considering his love for crashing trains.
That's the thing, Jova. Typically, Gomez is much more of a swordsman rather than
Old-fashioned. I get also what we're trying to do. New generation. They want to do new things.
Holy hand grenade. But that's the thing, though. I mean, in addition to loving sword fighting, Gomez also has a thing for crashing trains, which does involve blowing them up as well.
True. Typically, especially in the 90s cartoon, it's typically Gomez that usually has the blowing up gimmick. However, for this movie, they decided to give explosions to Pugsley, which is fun. Because like Theo said earlier, yeah, Pugsley, a lot of times in these adaptations, does tend to feel like the one that's the least focused on. So I actually do appreciate that this movie actually does bother to give Pugsley his own thing, rather than just make him just a piece of scenery like the Barry Sonnenfeld films did.
Well, the Sonnenfeld films gave him more to work with. That was more so a problem with the 90s show,
I don't know, Joe, but I know that it's more scholastic memory that I have, but I do remember Wednesday getting most of the screen time, at least for the second movie.
Living in a mausoleum. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Oh, I'm not talking so much about screen time, but they at least gave Pugsley something of an arc in the Sonnenfeld movies.
Hey, here's Fester.
Yeah, who's actually played by?
I forgot, but I do like him as Fester. There you go. He's even using his original jacket from the strips. Oh, hey, Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat is actually one of the members of the family that hasn't been in that many adaptations. He wasn't in the Barry Sonnenfeld films. He was not in the 90s cartoon. So I'm actually glad
you think that at least in animated form it would have been easier to, make an appearance.
I'm guessing the writers didn't care much for Kitty Cat. I don't know.
I think it may have been a case of him not being as established as some of the other cast members.
But this is MGM, so gotta have a lion in it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's the question that I wonder. Like, has MGM always owned this franchise, or it was more like a recent thing?
Well, the strips, I think, are public domain by this point. But I do think MGM has the movie rights, at least. I'm not entirely sure, though.
Well, the second movie was done by Paramount Pictures.
So I guess we just flip-flopped a bit everywhere.
And the first was also Paramount Pictures, albeit in the States. Internationally, it was done by Columbia.
So yeah, Wednesday is wondering why can't we go to? Wednesday is bored of living here, and so she wants to go out and explore. Yes, when Wednesday is suffering from Disney princess syndrome.
She wants more.
Oh, hold on, Joe, I love this one. The Home Art and Garden Show.
Ugh.
Hag.
Oh God!
Hey Joe, do you recognize this voice?
It does sound very familiar, yes.
Well, where have you heard her?
She looks like she came out of a Despicable Me movie.
It's funny you mentioned that to you. Master, where I've heard her from.
I'll give you a bit so you can try and guess. It's a show it's a show that we both love, Jova. There's your tip.
Spear riding free.
I can't speak for you, but I don't exactly.
Well, in an ironic way, Pedro.
Yeah, let's be honest.
It's called the old guilt, Jova. Yes, it's called the old guilt from the DuckTales reboot.
Oh, her, yeah. Neat. Okay, like I mentioned, I think the animation is fine for the most part. One thing I do not care for is the regular human designs here and there. They look like they came out of an Illumination movie, I'm gonna be honest. The Addams Family, those
Welcome to a simulation!
Simulation. What is this, the Borg collective?
Subtle
But
but
again,
damned.
but I get what you mean, Jova. Like, I think, if I recall right, the entire point was to show the fact that the other people look more traditionally, quote unquote, and the entire point was, the fact that despite looking different, the Addams Family was not as much different, and the message was, support your neighbors no matter how different they look to you. But Jesus, these people look weirder than the actual.
I know. That is one criticism I've agreed with that even fans have said about this movie. Is like, well, again, the Addams Family, they look nice, fine, but for a movie like this to work, especially considering the overall message of the Addams Family, the humans should look more conventionally like humans. The problem is that they look even weirder than the actual Addams Family.
Not only that, Jova, the Addams Family has iconic designs, and this is helped by the fact this movie is helped by the fact that we look like the comic book strip, so it's helpful. But imagine the fact that they had to sell toys about the other human characters of this.
I will say
they
that
probably won't.
I will say that the final message of this movie does add to the humans looking weird. We'll see.
Oh!
Another Tuesday.
As for the screenwriter of this movie, Matt Lieberman. Sorry?
Hold on. How does this work? Notice that Wednesday's hair, she has braids in her hair.
Well, I already mentioned her hair resembles
the nooses, yeah.
Yeah.
The nooses, sorry, the nooses.
Anyway, can I
Hold
on. Please
So Wednesday's being an older sister.
Pretty much.
Is the best way to describe her.
All right. Well, Pugsley seems fine with it. Yeah, go stand beside the open grave, Pugsley.
Does he also have a stone with your name on it?
Go ahead, Lips.
Anyway, as for the other writer, he's written such classics as Dr. Dolittle Tale to the Chief.
Never saw that.
The Christmas Chronicles.
Never saw that.
I don't even
I don't know that.
Playing with Fire.
Oh, God, that terrible John Cena movie.
And Scoob.
Oh, the more recent one.
Ooh.
I haven't heard good things.
That's a shame.
Okay. What's coming up is actually a pretty nifty joke.
Yeah, I really love this one.
Well, Darwin
I know,
is.
but I do not condone murder.
No, I actually like this one.
Yeah.
As well. We're about to get opposite of sad. True.
Well, someone's a Stephen King fan.
Don't move. Hold on. Listen.
Oh, this joke here.
We had a face. Oh no, it's spreading.
Anyway,
so apparently Morticia is a Stephen King fan. That's nice to know.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me, really. I'm pretty sure all of the entire family is a fan of Stephen King.
I bet Stephen King would love to meet these guys. They'd probably give him at least an idea for at least 10 different books each.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it is really popular right now anyway, so it makes complete sense to have a joke like that. Notice Wednesday's Dr. Frankenstein gloves. Good one, Lurch. This is something that's taken from the 90s cartoon, because in the 90s cartoon, Lurch also plays the organ.
Yeah. When it comes to the cartoons, I think my favorite is definitely the 90s one. It's not to say the
70s.
The 70s one was bad, but the 90s one just has so much more energy in it.
True. Also, the Addams Family as living in a car. That's just what? Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, you didn't even notice that before.
Well, the fog was covering it.
The fog was covering it too.
So it would seem.
Margot, her name is Margot Needler. As she said by the welcome to assimilation thing, she wants every house in this town to look nice and pretty. True.
Mm-hmm.
I love this upcoming joke here.
Oh no, they're wearing stuff different from us. That is literally the only thing different from us.
Share this gentleman publicly, please. Yeah, that's a common joke in the Addams Family. Like, they'll try to be friendly in a weird way, and when people run away, they're like, "What a nervous or weird person."
Do you think that Starbucks actually does actual coffee normal vanilla at some point?
Probably.
I think you can get an
hopefully.
espresso, but I don't know.
There you go, just coffee. As
Sweet.
In coffee
Yummy.
Crunchy.
All right, this song is just wonderfully horrible, as you're about to hear.
No, this sounds like a serious effort a Illumination movie would make.
I wonder if they still put up these on iTunes just for getting a few more bucks.
Faster.
I know, right?
Supposed to. It's supposed to be music.
The rest of them are like, please kill me.
I like Fester's song better.
Jesus.
Hey, it's got more effort in than the song you just did.
Apparently.
Yeah, what did he do?
Yeah.
Seriously.
He's just sharing in the fun.
And here's a little bit taken from Sonnenfeld's Faster, as in Faster always gets in love with a lady.
Yeah.
Falls in love with a lady, sorry.
Hopefully this one's not a gold digger this time.
That's the thing, Jova. Believe it or not, this romance will end well.
Really?
It's a
Plastic
cool
woman.
Plastic woman. Well, I can see her point.
Yeah. I mean, she's not wrong.
It's more the hair that fucks me over. It's so bruise.
Do you mean the death mask from Saw by any chance?
Hey, seriously, what does that lady use on her hair?
Good job, Lurch. All right, back to let's practice for the mazurka. Ooh.
Yeah, I prefer the rapier.
The handle is pretty elaborate.
It is.
Was he still there?
I think that's intentional, Bruce.
Yeah,
Totally.
no pressure.
It's just your entire family judging you. Out loud.
I actually do like the motivation behind it, though. Like, you have to show that you're prepared to defend the family from harm. That's actually
Yeesh.
exactly.
It's called
Okay.
the FBI.
Girl, how much Botox are you using on your lips? Jesus Christ.
Considering her mom, Jill, I'm actually not surprised. Because her mom is all about appearances. Oh, there you go. Yeah, no.
Oh,
Kitty Cat insists that you stay. What do you think of Morticia's kitty, Ashiri?
Good fluffy boy.
of course.
Well, not a house cat,
excuse
but
me.
still a big cat.
Morticia,
I mean,
you
it's
might
a
wanna do
big-
something. You
It's
might
a
wanna do
big
something
house
about
for a big cat, I
Oh.
guess.
reference to
Yeah.
the 60s sitcom there. There you go. The bear rug.
And now it's really feel like one of the Wreck movies. Yep, definitely a Wreck reference.
Actually, I was thinking that's more The Exorcist.
Okay, no, but you know, the first person view with still people, you know, being the ranger. Yeah, it's. Ooh. Oops.
Whoops.
1 down, 2 to go.
Okay.
Wine speaks, apparently.
Oh, we also have a bottomless pit, just like the Mystery Shack.
There are spiders.
In her
Morticia,
dress.
do you usually keep those in there, Morticia?
Yes, she does.
Maybe they make up the dress.
No, they don't. She's
Ugh.
still wearing the dress. So
Okay,
I mean,
that joke was a bit It reminds me of the PS1 Spider-Man game, and even then was very dated. Still no likes. Oh damn. Finders keepers. You need to expand the memory storage.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you don't have a crossbow though. Crossbows are way cooler than cell phones.
I used to do archery, but I never had a crossbow. I didn't have a fulfilling childhood, clearly.
She's cage schooled.
Hmm.
Ah.
Friends.
Yeah, pretty regular.
So normal school stuff.
That actually kind of terrifies me. If they keep turning on Friends, what are they going to be like as adults?
Oh,
Sadly, sadly,
great show.
Dreams, it's actual reality in a lot of schools.
Oh.
Good job, Fing.
Well, at least we know what's in this pot. Oh no, you just didn't.
Hey, Dwibs, apparently she's a member of the Generation X.
Degeneration X. Eh?
Yeah, well, it's a Green X, and right?
Yeah,
she's like one of those. She's like one of those hosts of
the
pro.
right there.
Yeah, seriously.
Why isn't she doing
It's
the DX?
perfect.
Why aren't you doing the DX crotch chop?
Because this is a kids' movie, Dwibs. We can't have that. But thank you, though. Ah, there's one here.
Yeah. Yeah. Just leave it going.
Cowards.
Well, Sheila, what would you do in this situation?
I'd rather stay with them than with Poofy Lady here.
I know, right?
Like, she's far more disturbing than anything they've done, at least to me.
Of course.
Well, there you go, Sheila. She's the villain anyway, so.
Yeah.
I couldn't have guessed. Oh.
Eccentric is putting it lightly. Again, I don't know if they're trying to be sarcastic or not, but she's not wrong. The other people look just as weird, if not weirder than them.
It's like that episode of the live action one I watched earlier with Pedro. The family that were visiting were acting even weirder than these guys.
Oh God, which episode was that one?
New Neighbors.
New Neighbors.
Essentially, a honeymoon couple that goes in one of the minor properties that Gomez owns.
Yeah, Wednesday makes a good point, Morticia. Would you really deprive your daughter of torturing children her age? Come on.
It's a learning experience for her and them.
All right, we're about to get a joke. As soon as Wednesday enters, we're going to get a joke that Shiro really likes.
Did they get her registered properly?
I'm sure.
Hopefully.
Oh, here you go.
Thanks, Charlemagne.
That's what it felt like.
So what, are the lockers the cells or something?
You can tell she's really struggled to say that. Oh, great. Valley stereotype.
I tell you, Wednesday dealing with antagonistic blonde character.
Never saw that before.
It's like an Addams Family Values, which is my favorite Addams Family film, so cool.
I also, Christina Ricci was also great for that role. Well, first you need to be funny.
However, this is Barry Sonnenfeld type Wednesday, so she's not nice. Yeah.
Of course.
You're
Watchmen.
locked up in here with me.
Yeah.
Where'd the lights go?
She sucks them away. Yeah, that's the secret against bullies. Don't be scary as shit.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
Please, I'm like practically the most popular member of this family, to the point where almost every incarnation almost does nothing but focus on me.
This is interesting. This is actually an interesting point that I would like to make as well. Charles Addams originally envisioned Wednesday to be the joke with Wednesday is that she's a very nice girl, but then she does these horrible things like decapitating dolls and shit like that. However, when Barry Sonnenfeld made his films, he kind of reinvented her to make her a bit more aggressive, in the sense that she's not really nice in personality. She's more, she's the girl you don't want to mess with.
The idea with Wednesday was that she is the one who sort of breaks off from the family. Like, for instance, the musical is about her.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Depends which adaptation you're watching, Joe, because the 90s cartoon kept Wednesday more like Charles Addams envisioned her.
So this movie of all things is tackling fake news.
Well, not just that, but well, let's just say.
In a way, well, okay, not necessarily cyberbullying, but a similar process.
Basically, she spies on everyone.
Gotta make sure everybody maintains.
Big Barbie doll sister is watching you.
Oh, there you go. And I think you're gonna like this because this is a scene that feels like it came straight out of one of the Barry Sonnenfeld films.
You.
I mean, gotta use those Frankenstein gloves for something.
Is Chloe Grace Moretz going for a British accent?
Nah, not really.
I don't think so.
Wednesday does not have a British accent.
I mean, they're supposed to be Americans, Dwebs.
Or maybe it's just really posh American.
It's contagious.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, we've mentioned Illumination earlier. Apparently, this movie was originally supposed to be an Illumination film.
Huh.
Interesting.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be.
Maybe that's what he says. Oh, hold on. There you go. So there you go, Taylor. See, just like in Addams Family Values, Wednesday tortures the blonde antagonist while the Addams Family theme plays. There you go.
It was supposed.
So yeah, this movie does take from pretty much almost all of the previous
Yeah, it
adaptations.
seems to be a pastiche.
It was supposed to be directed by Tim Burton, and it was supposed to be a stop-motion film.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
I guess they dropped it because it was too expensive and time-consuming.
It would have been visually, but considering how downhill Tim Burton has gone, maybe for the better.
Yeah, he did Big Eyes as well. I would say I'd have faith in him. Besides,
Big Eyes was a long time ago, Joe, but he made Dumbo recently, so right now...
Okay,
I have not seen Dumbo recently, but again, what are you doing between Dumbo and Big Eyes?
Not just that, just to get a time scale, do we know in which year the stop motion thing was supposed to be made in?
It hasn't given a year.
All right then. Sorry.
Honestly, I would definitely have faith in Tim Burton to get this thing right, especially with it in stop motion.
The thing, Joe, is that with illumination behind it, I'm not really confident.
Okay. Now that is something that I would have been worried about. Like, even with someone as great as Tim Burton, illumination.
Is that Battleship? Yes, it's Battleship.
This is Addams Family Battleship too.
Not enough Rihanna. 0 out of 10.
But personally, if it was going to be a stop motion movie, I would have preferred if Chris Butler would have been the one directing it, aka one of the directors from Leica.
Maybe.
Okay.
Leica would have been perfect to do a movie that.
Actually, about the whole year thing. I think it was announced back in 2010.
I wouldn't know. I haven't really followed up about the history of this movie.
The whole Tim Burton thing is TOS for year.
But yeah, Granny in this movie is performed by Bette Midler. And her characterization is a bit more faithful to the Barry Sonnenfeld Granny.
She has a point.
God.
Ugh.
That's a signal, Gomez.
I think he's gathered onto the signal. It's just his mother is digging his grave deeper and deeper.
Well, yeah, Wednesday is definitely her mother's daughter. Oh, hey, Wednesday. Oh, I love this upcoming joke here.
Oh, God!
Oh my God, My Little Pony!
Here.
Oh yeah, that thing. That's the thing. Whenever Morticia gets the least bit angry, she starts to get flushed. So of course she has a bat to drain the blood from her to keep her from dying of blood overdose.
Oh my.
There you go, see? Yeah, don't forget that.
And then the father's shin was permanently damaged because of all that kicking.
True.
She actually started to show emotion.
The excitement of difference.
The excitement of difference, yeah. It's cool to experience different things.
Poor unfortunate soul.
Hey.
Oh, wow, burning bush, that's a good sign.
So, Shiro, a question. What do you think of the way the Addams have a tea party in the graveyard? Or cemetery, if you prefer.
Cool.
What would be the ideal tea for the place, Shiro? That's a good one.
But it's not just tea, Shiro. It's tea and seance.
Well, yeah, she has
With the Luigi board.
Well, she has seance chats with her parents.
Well, that's what seance is too.
We've got Crystal Skype.
I guess Earl Grey.
Sure.
Dead parents.
Just because Grey.
Of course.
I do like this bit here.
Oh.
Wow, even as spirits, they're still kind of senile.
Oh, whatever you say, Frollo.
Save time for what?
Hold on.
The Girl Scouts. She's just passing through a phase.
When she realizes she can't burn children alive, she'll come home.
This is also okay. Hold on.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Happy anniversary of my
So,
death.
Basically, it's both Wednesday and Morticia with their own subplot, whereas Pugsley and Gomez have their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So father and son and mother and daughter, basically. So,
Sure.
It's a good idea.
Well, I mean, I'll give this show a bit of credit. It's better than Sausage Party that I haven't cringed.
Well, from what you've told me, that's not very hard. But I haven't actually seen the movie. Nor do I care to. It never really interested me.
I believe you can also get nettle tea. That'll be a good one.
Hey Shira, could you imagine if he was trying to do the Hey Macarena with that sword?
Oh god.
I thought I turned that phone down.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Literally.
But yeah, going a bit back to that cemetery scene from earlier, that scene also introduces one particularly unique element that this adaptation has that neither of the previous adaptations have had, because usually the way they portray the characters in any adaptations, including the sitcom, is the Addams are always, portrayed as perfectly nice saints who never really mind anything.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find something weird, but that's as far as they'll go. But this is the first time that they've actually done something where, even though the Addams,
Oh.
It is just.
Oh no, she's been converted.
It is.
I think it's more a case of she wants attention from her mother. Like, it feels like that kind of thing where she is testing to see just how far she can take her mother going.
Oh, she still has her tattoo. Oh.
Huh. It's kind of that's kind of ironic, given a certain trivia about the original show.
Talk about the sitcom?
The science.
In the meantime, Parker is really digging the goth look that Wednesday.
Oh.
So what? I like both their new looks.
She got like a buzz cut and everything.
Holy cow.
Am I noticing a parallel here? But anyway, yeah, like I was saying. This is a thing that this adaptation does. That even though where usually the Addams are always portrayed as don't have any bias or prejudice of any sorts. Even at most they'll find something weird, but that's as far as they'll go. However, this is the first time where they actually do portray specifically Morticia to have a bit of bias herself, specifically against so they actually are drawing kind of a parallel right now between both these two and Morticia and Wednesday.
And honestly, as a visually impaired person, that's my exact reaction to somebody turning the lights on.
Nah.
Too much right to dreams, that's what she said before.
Like,
it's a common joke in cartoons where they do the
yeah,
too bright thing.
And hissing. They always hiss.
Oh,
hey, Wednesday. Where are you going? Aww.
So Wednesday's doing that thing. The usual, I'm gonna test to see how much my parents loved me by running away thing.
Also the rebel against the tradition phase.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday has kind of had that in a few incarnations, most notably the musical, which is sort of about her kind of moving out of the family and being engaged to someone new outside.
Unfortunately, I've never seen the musical because my country never gets any.
Oh, you're missing out. It's a real good one.
Oh, don't worry, Jova. I always miss out on all the musicals. That's my problem. But whatever.
Sorry, Pugsy, that doesn't work on vampires.
Also, I'm pretty confident there are only the times where it actually worked can be counted on one hand.
Well, Morticia, maybe you should have been a bit more accepting of your daughter's choices. Just saying.
I don't understand Broadway because they film all their shows. They just don't release them for some reason.
Some people,
I'll mention later this year.
Some shows do make DVD recordings.
Mr. Lurch.
Okay.
Who's his voice?
I think it's probably some pop song, but
I think it might be Nick Kroll.
I don't know. I actually don't know this song in particular. But yeah.
Well, his non-singing voice is that Lurch.
Yes.
Well, his non-singing voice is Conrad Vernon, one of the directors.
Of course.
Okay.
Do they list a singing voice?
I don't know. Let me see.
Well, maybe what it is that this is a pre-existing song. They just have Lurch sing it just for the wall, just for shits and giggles. Maybe that's what's happening. That's why I took it at first, anyway. But anyway.
Oh, hang on, I recognise this song.
No, I also recognise the song, but
Me too.
This is an REM song.
Yes, it is.
I actually don't know the song.
It's from REM. I know that band.
I don't mind.
I think somebody else is singing it though, unless they re-recorded it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Michael Stipe, the lead singer of that band I mentioned.
But yeah, I do like the fact that this is the first Addams Family adaptation to give Morticia a bit of a bias herself, because usually the Addams are always portrayed as never really having any strong prejudice or bias towards other people. They'll just say something is weird and that's it. That's as far as they'll go. But so I do like the fact that this show does bother to also not portray the Addams as complete saints.
Snoop Dogg, what are you doing here?
Tia. Remember, Snoop Dogg plays it in this movie.
I like Snoop
No,
Dogg.
I know. It's.
Thing.
I think it's also. I think in one of the live action movies they also had a similar joke by being played by a pop star.
Well, tell me
Yeah,
what you think of
true.
him as it. Tell me what you think of him as it. I think
Sure.
not like it requires any acting out of you anyway. So
Honestly, Snoop Dogg can act anyway.
sure. But I don't know. I like Snoop Dogg, so I don't mind it.
Smaller than usual. Was he actually smaller in the comic strips?
No, that's actually the first design that differs a bit. Maybe they wanted to make him even a bit more of the odd one out, because that's usually what it is anyway. So
Okay. Yeah, like.
Oh, I thought the twist was going to be, this isn't a crafty room, this is the room where she makes her evil plans.
Actually, Lives, we just
It
need to
is.
find the correct way to, there you go,
Yep,
activate
there
the
we
package.
go.
there you go. See, Lips, gotta love a good old-fashioned Bond villain lair.
Nah, Bond villain lairs aren't typically... Well, I think there's only one hidden Bond lair that's done in that way. You're hidden behind a bookshelf or something, and that was in Thunderball. If there is another one, I can't remember.
What?
What the hell?
Don't worry, Teo. That's actually going to come back to make to be part of the point later.
Maybe putting your underwear in the freezer.
She's actually going to be given a chance to explain.
Also,
why
ass
she does
shot.
it. Don't worry, Teo. We're actually going to learn why she does it. She actually has a reason for it. You'll see. Well, you're a bit stuck in your ways, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm not really feeling the villain of this movie. Everything else is pretty neat, but villain feels a bit... yeah.
I think it might be also because of the length. We're already, I guess, in climax territory.
I guess the villain doesn't feel like she has
Nearly
as much
there, yeah.
presence as one would expect.
I mean, from all Addams Family stuff I've seen, I can't remember there ever being an actual villain.
There are dibs in the various.
The closest I can... Okay, I don't remember much about the actual series and cartoons of it. I remember it was mostly just the shenanigans of the fact that the normal people were, tied around them. The closest I remember was in the live-action movies.
The live-action movies have villains.
But I do wonder, I don't remember much of them. Like, it's more like a thing, oh shit. More
The
a thing
whole
like,
family's in town.
yay!
Pardon me. Boo.
Who are you gonna call?
Okay.
That's some fast
yeah.
typing.
Oh yeah, gotta give the woman something. She's an amazing typist. Like seriously, I can type that fast.
About what Jova said earlier, I mean, every time it cuts to this, it kind of feels like we're in a different movie, like made by Illumination. Which is funny because it was actually supposed to be Illumination originally.
I'm wondering if that's the reason why the
Yeah,
wacky
that's
designs
probably
are a thing.
Maybe these designs are leftovers from that. That I wouldn't be surprised if they're...
So what exactly was the process of Passover? Was it like mid
MGM
development?
bought the rights or something?
Well, I mean, Universal, who own Illumination, still distributed this movie outside of North America.
Huh, so did Universal decide, okay, Illumination, stop working on it, we're giving it to MGM now?
Oh, hello, Aunt.
Oh boy, she's the one who's gonna judge. I get it.
She's the oldest of the family, too.
Hello. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's the bad about New Jersey, actually?
It's like Canada. It's a punchline.
So, yeah, as we said earlier...
That's what Pixie told me. It's an American joke, apparently.
So as I said earlier, Grandmama is played by Bette Midler.
I already said that, yeah.
Why not? That's why I said, as we said earlier.
Wow, you people are very easy to win over by a simple text.
Is this woman a Karen?
Yeah, remember, Jova. You know how it is. People love to be part of angry mobs.
Is it a take on? Is it a take on those texts that spread lies and yet people believe?
Yeah, the fake news sites.
That's
Again, it's interesting
fake
that of all movies with come out recently, this is the one that takes about that issue. Okay, she's gonna MacGyver out of the situation, I guess.
Well, too, it's common to use in movies to use hair clips to.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
for lockpicking.
It's a real life thing anyway.
Always find your way out.
Oh, sure. I know. I'm aware of that. It's just that I usually see it in movies.
So we're gonna do burn the house down.
Huh. Suddenly it sounded like we had Spiral Mouth on bout.
Okay, can you imagine the voice direction? Okay, Snoop, speak
I just
gibberish,
want to
and action.
Of course. Family reunions.
Yeah, sorry, Gomez.
Well, time to walk down the Green Mile and get it over with.
Oh, okay.
It makes her more imposing that way too.
It reminds me a bit of Mars
she's,
Attacks.
So basically, she's Peridot with even more.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the bazooka stuff has gotten as much screen time as the stuff with Wednesday.
Alas.
The owl. There you go.
Not a bad howl, actually.
The scream. That's the fit. That's the Finch of a. Sorry, Dwebs. He's. I think apparently it's still not good enough, according to this. Oh, the beard. Wow, that's amazing.
Who's playing it here?
Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, no. Snoop Dogg plays Thing.
No. Snoop Dogg plays Cousin It. Jova. The Thing doesn't have a voice. It's just a hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was right the first time he plays it.
Alright, now during the Mazurka, we actually do listen to the instrumental version of the song that Snoop Dogg made for the credits. It's both Snoop Dogg and another band, but I forgot their name.
Oh.
Oh dear.
And you'll notice that the song is also a remix of the Addams Family theme.
Yeah, I noticed.
Oh yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
I do appreciate because usually pop songs in kids movies, the ones that were made specifically for the credits, tend to be, completely unrelated to the movie itself. So I do like the fact that this one has an actual remix of the Addams Family theme as its pop song in the credits.
Because it makes sense.
Well, I know, Joe, it's just because I don't really like the song that plays in the credits of The Princess and the Frog, because it doesn't have anything to do with the movie itself, So.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have felt more here if this got more time.
Yeah. Did you? I mean...
Well, remember, Jova, he prefers doing explosions rather than swords, but swords are the tradition of the Mazurka.
We still had the trebuchet.
Yeah, speaking of explosions.
Not the time, Gomez.
Where did you people get the time to find a catapult?
Because cartoon. Oh my god, even the spirit of the house goes away.
It's about family.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Addams Family, so...
At least he knows what it is.
So it's a new type of mazurka.
Yes. Basically, Bugs is gonna...
Modernize it.
Modernize the Mazurka ritual. There you go.
Oh, he's still there.
Well, at least Mitch made it out okay.
Yes.
Yeah, at least he's alive.
Oh, now the boulder's like the one in Thomas the Tank Engine. Changed direction on its own.
Maybe it's
Sentient.
Well, I mean,
alive! It's alive, Dwibs!
Well, then again, in the Thomas the Tank Engine movie, the boulder had a face. So not
the organ!
Not the movie, sorry, an episode of the show.
Good job, Pugsley.
If you want the Addams Family to go, I don't think flattening them's going to help your case. If you keep this up, yeah, they'll be gone, but you'll all be done for
murder.
Yeah, mass murder even, and what's it called when it's a whole bunch of people do an evil thing?
I don't even know what trope you're talking about.
No,
I meant there's a word for that.
Oh, that.
Oh.
I can't remember the term.
Oh. Ichabod.
Yay!
Collusion?
Yes. Well, I mean, if everyone's collaborating on it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Collaborated mass murder.
Okay, everyone, they're right there. Fire, fire, fire.
Yep. Yay!
Well done.
We almost murdered these people.
Yeah. Kind of makes us reevaluate.
You're all still going to prison, though, for attempted mass murder. Still a crime.
Oh, I see where Wednesday gets her look. Okay, you're about to get your explanation from earlier.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yep. Well, if she likes it...
Shiro, tidbit.
I have no input on this.
Good
well,
to know.
If she likes it, so what?
Yeah.
Sure,
Do you need to learn something from this movie?
There's got to be a better way. Yeah, still, like...
Yeah, that is illegal.
This is illegal, you know. Oh, great.
Oh, she has a god complex.
You just got pranked.
And you got a lot of dislikes.
The internet is displeased with you.
My market share.
Because you're a raging bitch.
Well, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I know this woman tried to kill me and my entire family, but you know what? Love can still blossom.
Well, Jova,
Maybe he's into that, you know?
That's
Yeah.
the thing, Jova. That's probably what Fester sees in her. That's the thing.
Please don't prosecute us all.
Yeah, I think my only issue is that these people latched on way too easily to trying to kill these people and just as easily backtracked on it. Kind of messed
They're
up.
kind of pathetic.
They're very easily influenced, it seems.
Odd. They tried to kill you.
Again, you guys...
She doesn't mean odd because of that. I mean, as in, you know, they did the whole underwear thing and stuff like that.
Oh, cute. They're painting the house pink. Okay, bit of a backstory on that. See, the original show, the black and white show, actually had the house painted pink so that it would stand out better in a black and white background, believe it or not.
Yep,
Huh.
that's true. That's true, actually. Good one, Jova.
Oh god, did they get married?
They're a couple now.
They're a couple now, yeah.
Oh, God.
That's the thing, Jova. Margot actually has had a change of heart because apparently Fester managed to really win her over.
So he's good in bed. Okay, got it.
So basically, it's kind of a subversion of what the Addams Family values did with the Gold Digger character.
Pretty much. I mean, if I recall correctly, at the very end, punchline is that Fester still finds a potential love interest, but you know, it's more someone similar to him.
Shady Homes Realty. Addicts to die
Cool.
for. Well, he did protect his family, so yeah.
Yay.
And now you can never take that hat off.
Oh, and the spirit returned.
That paint job.
Well, it's not a black and white movie, so we don't need the pink, like Jova said.
Everything's back to everything wrong.
There is one thing, though, Teo. There's one thing missing, though.
Yeah, the group photo, of course.
No, it's just that, Teo. Don't you think there's one thing missing still? Let's see. Of course.
Yeah, the classic theme.
Oh, we had it earlier.
No, but this is the full-blown song. And yes, and yes, everybody, this is a 1-to-1 recreation of the '60s opening. So there you go.
And I say, Pedro, you're not playing Clavier Gavin.
Again, still far less weird than the people in that town.
I know, right?
He's not even playing the piano in time, Baker.
And that was the Addams Family 2019.
A transition to the Snoop Dogg
no,
song, I guess.
Off.
I don't know. I don't know. I actually like this Snoop Dogg plus. I actually forgot. Let me wait till the credits to see who are the other people who worked on the song, because it's Snoop Dogg and another band but I forgot the name.
Yeah, I like
the
it
post-credit
too.
scene or anything.
I actually don't mind. It actually grew on me, if I'm going to be totally honest.
I like it.
It helps that it's actually related to the movie itself instead of just being something that's completely unrelated, like the Persistent of Frog credit song, you know.
Or any of the 4Kids anime stuff where we just put pop songs for the sake of it.
My family produced by Migos, Karaoke Mafia, and Snoop Dogg. Rock Mafia, that's it. Rock Mafia. I don't know who Rock Mafia are, but I do like this song, so that's fine.
Is there an after credits scene?
No, there isn't. We're done.
All right, final thoughts, I guess.
All right, Taya, what do you think?
Sure, let me start. Pleasantly surprising. I can tell. Yes,
Okay.
Jova?
Okay, so I was right. Nick Kroll does play Uncle Fester. There you go. Dwib someone else from Sausage Party.
But surprisingly surprising. Even with the limited experience that I had, I can tell that the people behind this not just understood, but were fans of the source material and wanted to create a pastiche and something that could still, be fitting for the modern audience. The usual trap that you fall into it would be relying too much on, say, internet lingo, or like having too much modern references and having the effect of that scene with Steve Buscemi that goes, "How do you do, fellow kids?" And while there are one or two jokes here that do give that kind of effect, that were also used in the trailer that I saw, I do wonder if they were just put there from the basically executive mandated, because someone at MGM was like, sure, put it here, it will attract more of the cool hip kids. But otherwise, the implementation of modern stuff seems to be more effective. The idea of Morticia, for example, using the crystal ball and the Ouija board in a similar way to how someone uses a computer with Skype is clever enough, without having to be obnoxious. But in general, as a story on its own, it's interesting enough. But what I would say is that it does feel like part of it was cut away, because right before the third act, you think that it should be like a bit more. That should develop a bit more the villain and showcase a bit more shenanigans. Potentially also to reinforce a bit the Pugsley story arc. I disagree with Dweebs. I do believe both the children actually do get similar story arcs in terms of presence. It's just about the thing they do. Well, it is connected to the fact that this seems to be one of the major adaptations that try to change the formula by having the family having an internal conflict. Which is something that I remember think the live-action movies did in some capacity.
The second one did, if I recall correctly.
But not to this. Wasn't the entirety of the first movie having to track down Fester, and before he gained his memory back, he was a villain?
The first person film was entirely with the plot of Fester being missing, and Gomez was really missing him. And Gomez lost his memory off screen. They never really explain how.
And until then, he was like brainwashed to be a bad guy for the villain, if I recall correctly.
Personally, I never really cared much for that little storyline, but the rest of the movie was pretty great.
But still, what I want to say is that, again, it feels like they wanted to shake up, legitimately tell a new story, so there's that. The animation, the character design for the Addams Family themselves is actually pretty spot on. I actually never read the comic strip So this is my first major exposure to this new design, but it does fit. The thing is that the rest of the normal people, who are quote, like Jova mentioned, feels a bit too abstract to fit, and they do feel Illumination tier.
Probably remains of the original Illumination version.
I can also tell the fact that this did not add a lot of money for budget, because sometimes, despite being in movement, the animation feels a bit more stiff compared to something like, say, Hotel Transylvania, which was much more energetic. Mm-hmm. But I still believe that the end result is still on a positive note. I like this kind of reintroduction of a franchise, and it's good to know that it not only did well, but it also, is continuing, supposedly. What I wasn't knowing about was before watching this movie was about the fact that it was owned by MGM, because MGM is one of those companies that in recent times it feels like we just kind of fell off the radar. Did not have much to be released compared to the big ones.
Well, MGM recently had some back in the early part of the 2010s. They were having a lot of financial troubles. That's why we didn't get Skyfall till 2012.
All right.
2008 film.
But yeah, that's just me. A pleasant surprise could probably have been improved, but I'm still okay with the final result. Next.
Sure.
I actually really enjoyed this movie. Even more this second time around, because it just kind of helps. But aside from, because I know one complaint that was that the message the movie has is kind of one that is quite common in recent years. Mm-hmm. But I still think it does it quite well, and I think,
if you allow me, it is important to remember that this is the kind of message that Charles Addams was intending. This is the kind of commentary that Charles Addams was trying to create with his original strips back in the 30s.
Yeah, which is what you explained to me at the time we watched this.
If anything, it's coming full circle.
It's just unfortunate timing, Yeah. I think we agreed. Yeah, but no, the message itself isn't bad, because it's one people still very clearly need to learn, and I think it didn't really, although it's it's the main theme, it's pretty prevalent. I don't think it was shoved in our faces as aggressively as like other examples, but there was a lot of the humor is really great, like especially in the shorts, because some of the jokes aren't in the movie. They're in separate shorts that led up to the movie's release. Those are actually really good. Like, have a look at those if you haven't.
Basically, there's in the MGM YouTube channel, everybody, you can see a Wednesday makeup tutorial, and it's actually really, really funny.
No, that was.
I'll leave some links in the description, might as well.
Yeah, but no, I definitely recommend checking out those shorts. They are worth the watch. Yeah, I do kind of understand Tio's point of there seems to be some stuff missing, because like both Wednesdays. Sorry, what's the brother's name?
Pugsley.
Yeah, both their plots were as equally shown, but it seems like Tio said, we did miss some, shenanigans and such happening.
The development hell does show a bit. Yeah.
Was there development hell?
I remember, it originally was going to be Illumination with Tim Burton directing, and apparently, according to this, it's been in development since 2010, right?
Not even that.
I didn't hear the 2010 part. I only heard.
And even so, the final budget is not that much anyway, so they even have little to work with.
I think the difference between Wednesday and Pugsley's arcs is I think Wednesday's arc feels more complete. That's not to say that Pugsley's arc didn't have a nice and satisfying conclusion, but I do feel like there was more missing from Pugsley's arc than there was for, say, Wednesday's arc, which feels like it goes for the typical ABC plot formula. Introduce conflict endures, conflict resolution, bam.
Sure.
I feel like what also helped Wednesday a bit was that a lot of the first act, a lot of the humor, once we were introduced to the whole family, a lot of it was centered around her specifically. So that probably helped hers feel a bit more complete, is that although both siblings had pretty much equal screen time, she felt pushed more, if that makes any sense.
Like me and Theo mentioned,
tends to be very popular with writers on Addams shows, from what I've seen.
In the 60s sitcom, not much, because in the 60s sitcom, she was still the little innocent little girl, so they didn't really flesh her out as much as Barry Sonnenfeld would. It's mostly when Barry Sonnenfeld made his first movie that they introduced the edgier, more aggressive Wednesday that we also see here.
I guess that also carried over into the musical, kind of, to an extent. Man, I really wish there was a DVD recording so I could show you guys that musical. You probably would like it.
Well,
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm hoping now, because despite how well the show did itself on Broadway, Hamilton on Disney Plus also did incredibly well. Yes. So I'm hoping that industry at large will look at that and think, maybe we should release our stuff. Because
not to mention, Shiro, right now is not a good time for people to go watch musicals. So I get the idea that it might encourage them to put at least some of the recorded availability on streaming, because I think the thought process until now was we don't want to spread too much, otherwise people want to go actually to see the spectacle. But I don't know.
Because I've liked Broadway for a long time, like just very quickly, and it's like I've been saying even before all of this that they're sitting on a gold mine with this unreleased press footage. But no, this movie is it's very enjoyable despite some pretty predictable aspects. I still think it is entirely worth the watch, multiple watches. And yes, check out those shorts. And that's all I have to say, really. It's just good.
Debs.
It's fine. I mean, it's a lot better than the last film the directors did. Mainly because A, I didn't cringe. B, the jokes were at worst just kind of meh as opposed to cringingly unfunny. And 3, as far as I know, the directors, well, at least one of them, weren't huge dickwads to their animators. But anyway, final thought. It's fine. I mean, there were a couple of jokes that were funny, at least. I'll give it that.
Mm.
And I do appreciate the little references to stuff from the Addams Family, even though my only real exposure to the show or the series in general is the
90s cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, I mean, although one thing I do think could have been done a bit better was them going more into the side plot of the brother. Because, I mean, but every time, because I don't remember it coming up as much, or at the very least, it isn't as prevalent as the plot Wednesday gets.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that, the brother stuff just kind of felt a bit under the.
All right.
And and also I gotta say, I don't really the citizens of the town they live in. They're worse than bloody Marvel citizens.
I know, right?
I mean, with Marvel citizens, at least the only thing you can say about them is, their opinions change more than their opinions change more than the sun and the moon go up and down in the sky.
Pretty much.
But these citizens, I don't care how sorry you are at you willingly participated in attempted mass murder. You should all be going to prison by now.
We're sorry we tried to kill your whole family. That may come off as genocide in some cases.
It is in some cases. It may come up as genocide.
All right.
Okay, if the next movie doesn't at least have that as a side plot, saying, by the way, all the citizens went to prison, and now we've got.
They're gonna do you think they're gonna do a Batman v Superman thing where little did you know that in the background a person got killed because of the catapult, and then the person looks with the like, and then he spends the entire thing. Then we must destroy the people of New Jersey.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
Well, that'd be more a spin-off, but why not? But I mean, overall, again, it's fine. It's mainly because it's mainly because of what this film doesn't do compared to the director's last one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I honestly ended up liking this movie more than I thought I would. I had heard very mixed things about it, and I'll admit, when I had seen some trailers of it, my first reactions were kind of, this looks like the Addams Family, but a bit cash grabby. Like, I don't know, maybe I think the trailers just did not do the best job selling this movie. Oh, don't get me wrong, I mean, there were some good jokes in the marketing, but kind of a combination of that, and I'll admit my preference is still more of like stuff like the 90s Addams Family, or of course the live action films. Those are still my favorite versions of the Addams Family, but this is pretty good. So I'll start with the obvious issues out of the way first. Okay, I did not care for the more normal people's designs, except seriously, they look weirder than the actual Addams Family here. Like, I really wonder if this was an Illumination leftover, because either that or someone at MGM really loves their Illumination movies. I think the issue I have with it is because it's supposed to be about the Addams Family being the weirdest bunch around, but still being very welcoming, a good influence of sorts. But when you have people who look as weird, if not weirder than them, I feel like it kind of shoots a bit of an arrow in the knee of the whole message here and there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie carries out the message fine, but it feels weakened by everyone's designs looking kooky. Like, oh god, can you imagine if the world of Doug tried to pull that off? Jesus Christ.
Everyone looks like an alien in that show already.
The overall commentary of the Addams Family is that everybody's weird in their own way. So I would argue that them looking weird doesn't necessarily harm the message.
Well, I'm not talking about the Addams Family. I'm talking about the.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been. Everybody's weird in their own way, Addams or not. That's the point, basically.
I guess what I don't get is was why they consider the Addams Family weird when they don't look that different structure-wise from them.
I can tell you for
it's also because of their behavior rather than their looks.
Remember, Joe, this is also tied to the modernized twist, not twist, but the thing tied to modern technology. The fact that the villain is spying on them, and when the daughter of the villain and when they get to see, they discover that each of the town people have their own quirks, which is kind of reflective. A lot of people these days, Joe, will just hide something they particularly enjoy to do for the sake of fear of appearing as freaks to the rest of the world. The last thing I was suspecting from this movie was this kind of social commentary, at least not to this kind of level.
And that is nice. That said, I do think that the animation on the others could have been a little less wacky and zany. Whereas for the Addams Family, by all means go wacky and zany here and there. That said, it thankfully does not make the movie bad for me, though. That said, back to stuff that is a bit weaker. Again, the villain. She doesn't feel like she has that much presence. Again, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Wibbs and Tio and Sherry to an extent about it, feeling like some of the bits of the movie were missing, and yeah, maybe that development hell you mentioned had something to do with it, Pedro, that and the limited budget. Yeah. But I feel like the villain could have used more presence here. Not only that, I do like it that she and Uncle Fester got together. That's nice. But I feel like the movie could have maybe had a bit more development towards it, as opposed to it kind of seeming like she's only getting together with Uncle Fester to get out of being bankrupt. I mean, granted.
It's interesting because it's interesting because when you see Pugsley getting his, you pass the mazurka thing in the background, you can see when they're clapping for Pugsley, you can see her in the background also clapping alongside Fester, and when they're dancing, she's also dancing with Fester. So basically, she's fully embraced the weirdness of the Addams Family. So she's learned a lesson, at least.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been interesting if we had a little mini arc about that per se. Like again, I was really interested in that. Well, you know, I guess now she's technically a part of the Addams family if her getting married with Uncle Fester is actually a thing. Again, I like that and I wanted to see more of it. I guess that's really my biggest complaint about this movie is that I feel like it could have used more because I liked what I saw and I would have loved to have seen more about it. I guess in a way that's kind of a compliment to the movie because, I overall enjoyed it.
Considering the 9 years of development hell, the fact that the movie came out the way it is still, at the very least, a relief.
Hey, I'll say this. I'm happy, and I'm even more happy now that we are actually getting a sequel to it, which will hopefully this time now have the proper time in the oven. Oh, well, okay, I guess to be fair, the last one did have time in the oven, but more so non-pressured time.
It was way too long in the oven.
Considering the climate, I wonder if it's gonna be directed to streaming services. But it's only speculation.
Either that or they'll delay it into oblivion like Disney are delaying Black Widow, Jesus Christ. But yeah, okay, so and like I said, the citizens were a little too easily won over, a little too easily backtracking in there, but...
Too easily forgiven.
Yeah, that too. But okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the positives here. Okay, I'll admit, not all of the jokes landed, but a lot of them did for me here and there. I actually do like this throwback to, the old classic art style for the family here. It's a nice take here and there. It's also, this is one of the origin stories that works. Probably helps that, a lot of it is like, well, yeah, we get the origin out of the way, but we don't waste too much time in getting them to, how we recognize them as. So, props on that for them too. Interesting how they try and go about the development for a lot of the family here and there too. Well done. I will agree that I feel like Pugsley's arc could have gotten something, but hey, it's nice that they did try to give the boy an arc, and he gets to have something here and there. I will admit, I'm a bit salty that we did not get any of Gomez's classic train crashing, though. God damn it.
That is true, yeah. It would have been nice if they had implemented that still.
Hopefully for the sequel.
They did get his sword fighting at the very least.
Yeah, okay. If they had not included his sword fighting, that would have been sacrilege now. But yeah, you're right. They got the sword fighting in there. I do like its respects to the original here and there. Like, a lot of times when you see a movie like this, you immediately think crash grab. But no, this is a movie where I can say that they were definitely trying. They were definitely putting effort into it here and there. Again, I'm just really looking forward to a sequel where hopefully now the ideas can fully blossom to their best here and there. So, my overall thoughts on this movie. The Addams Family 2019, a very welcome surprise. Better than I thought it would be. Still not my favorite incarnation of the Addams Family. That honor still lies with the live-action movies because those are just so damn funny. But this was a welcome surprise, and who knows, maybe with a good enough sequel, it could become my favorite incarnation of the Addams Family. Well done. Well done. Pedro, close us out.
No. Even though I do enjoy the movie, I will also agree. Now, the Addams Family Values is still, to me, the best Addams Family film as well. Like, however, I do appreciate a return to an animated cartoon version because this was created by a cartoonist for strips. So, for it to be a cartoon makes sense, especially considering it allows for the filmmakers to do all of the necessary visuals that usually go with those strips. So yeah, I do appreciate also the return to that. Most of the characters definitely go back to how they looked in the strips, with Gomez looking short and stocky, like he was in the strips. So I also appreciate that they brought back Kitty Cat, who has been noticeably absent in adaptations after the 60s sitcom. Well, actually, no, was he in the 70s cartoon?
I don't remember.
I'll have to watch that again.
I remember that the car video were going on at a dragon, but
I haven't seen the 70s cartoon in years.
No, knowing it's Hanna-Barbera, it probably is in some capacity. They love their animal mascots.
Yeah, probably. But regardless, like, the point is, they weren't in the Barry Sonnenfeld film. Sorry, Kitty Cat wasn't in the Barry Sonnenfeld films, and he wasn't in the 90s cartoon. So it's nice to see that they brought him back for this version as a nice little nod to the fans who remember Kitty Cat, like me. So I do appreciate that as a longtime fan. And I really dig a lot of little references here and there, because you can tell the filmmakers were fans of various different versions, because there's a lot of specific things that are taken from different versions, despite a lot of the characterization for the characters being more akin to the 60s sitcom, specifically Gomez and Morticia. Wednesday and Granny stay more faithful to the Barry Sonnenfeld versions, especially Wednesday, because this is definitely not Charles Addams. This is still the more aggressive Barry Sonnenfeld Wednesday, especially in that school scene with the Frankenstein parody, which is like it's literally a Barry Sonnenfeld style scene with the theme playing as she tortures the antagonist at all. It's literally flat out Barry Sonnenfeld Wednesday right there. So yeah, it's a nice nod there. So yeah, I do think this is a nice pastiche, as Theo said. So it really works in that way. You can tell that they were trying to implement. Okay, here we prefer, like, you can tell these filmmakers prefer. We prefer Barry Sonnenfeld Wednesday over Charles Addams Wednesday, so let's keep the Barry Sonnenfeld Wednesday for this one. So, which I'm fine. I personally really like both either takes on Wednesday. Like the '90s cartoon kept to the Charles Addams nicer Wednesday rather than the more aggressive one. So I think it can be pulled off fine. Like we'll see. Maybe now we have the edgy one for this one, but hopefully eventually in the future, one other adaptation, then whenever it comes along, hopefully we can maybe try a little more of the nicer Wednesday for variety's sake. And that's about it, really. I really like the characterization. I really like most of the jokes. Not all lands, and yeah, the movie does have some issues here and there, like my co-commenters have pointed out. But I still think people, especially a lot of people, especially critics, were way too harsh on this movie. Really.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a case of critical dissonance. Critics gave it somewhere in the 40s. Fans gave it somewhere in the 70s.
It's on 69% audience score on
nice.
So it does. So yeah, audiences for the most part enjoyed it, which is exactly perfectly fine. So no, seriously, like, because remember when I went to see this movie in theaters, because I'm a big fan. I always like watching a new take on the Addams Family, and I went into it already familiar with the critical reception, so I did go into it with apprehension. But honestly, I don't know. I enjoyed it, to be honest. Like, seriously, people were way too harsh on this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has issues, but seriously, like. If you go back and check the critics' reception, like they treat it as a genuinely really, really bad movie, which it is not. The movie works.
I do wonder if the critics were going in with the mindset of it being something more like the Sonnenfeld movies.
That's what I also theorize, because when you go look at the critics' opinions, they always talk about, it's nowhere near as macabre as the Addams Family from the '90s and stuff like that. Okay, here's the thing, guys. If you and don't get me wrong, if you prefer the Barry Sonnenfeld's take on the Addams Family, that's perfectly fine. I love Addams Family. Addams Family Values is still my favorite Addams Family film. Trust me. By all means, do. That being said, everybody, the Barry Sonnenfeld films are not the source material. The strips are, and Charles Addams never intended the Addams Family to be a purely adult franchise. Yes, the Barry Sonnenfeld films are clearly more geared towards adults. They have sexual jokes and everything. They had sex with Wednesday at the Addams Family Values and stuff like that. So yeah, no, you can have a more adult take on the Addams Family, but don't act like that's the only thing we can do, because the 60s sitcom was very family friendly, and the 60s sitcom is regarded as the de facto OG version that everybody looks up to. It's where the sitcom originated from, for Christ's sake, like, so I think people were with preconceived notions of how the movie should be, instead of actually judging the movie for what it is.
I will give them some credit. From what I recall, the media marketing for this movie was not the best in regards to selling them on what kind of movie it was supposed to be.
I don't know. I enjoyed the trailers fine enough, but whatever. but no, I still really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a pastiche. It has elements from various bits here and there, mostly from the '60s sitcom. But the overall basic tone and style is definitely more similar to the '60s sitcom, which is perfectly fine by me because I love the '60s sitcom. And I actually really appreciate all the nods, references, and we even ended in the best way, where we end with a little one-to-one recreation of the '60s sitcom opening. So it's a really great nod. You can clearly tell the '60s sitcom was the primary influence. So yeah, I really appreciate this movie for what it does. It may have issues, but I still think it's a really enjoyable family film. So yeah. Watch it for don't listen. Don't instead of just going with what people say on Rotten Tomatoes. Watch the movie for yourself and form your own opinion, because you might be surprised. I mean, it's because a lot of times critics are a bit too harsh on movies, like they were for what was
Joker.
That too, but that Godzilla movie, I forgot the movie.
Yeah, King of Monsters.
So yeah,
What were you referring to with that?
Godzilla, King of Monsters. One critics also unnecessarily harsh to that movie as well.
Yeah,
something about it not focusing enough on the human characters,
which is so.
But that was what people hated about the 20.
Don't worry, Dweebs. I'll mention it when we get to that.
Well, not so much that, and as in that the human stuff we got was boring as shit.
But yeah, it is a flawed movie. But I can tell that the people who made it put a lot of genuine effort and care into it. So I'm willing to see. I mean, the sequel apparently is not going to have the same filmmakers. Does anybody from this one return for the sequel? I know that the directors are different, but what about the writers?
Well, in the Addams Family sequel, you mean?
Yeah. Do we know if any of the writers are coming back?
Well, the director's coming back.
Oh, the directors are coming back, but are the writers different?
I don't know.
Okay, well, regardless. Well,
we'll see in due time.
We'll see what Conrad Vernon and what's the other guy's name? Whatever. We'll see what Conrad Vernon has intended for the sequel. Hopefully, they'll fix the issues that Joa and Liz pointed out, personally, I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel because I actually do think they did get everything they got the most important things right. They got the characters right, they got the tone right in terms of 60s sitcom.
Like I said, at worst this feels like, a very first project of something, so hopefully the sequels can iron stuff out to be even better.
Exactly. So yeah, that was the Addams Family 2019.
All right.
Okay. I do have to say though, pretty good Halloween so far. We got a good Harry Potter movie. We got Dr. Sleep, which was a welcome surprise, and Addams Family, which was an even more welcome surprise. And I know I've got a pretty good Halloween pick in store. Tio, what have you done to help us now, before we get to my pick?
I'm just setting the GPS. All right, we're moving to Forks, Washington. But don't worry. Even if we're departing in the middle of the night, don't worry, guys. In a few hours, the sun will rise, and it will be a breaking dawn.
No, get me out of this car! I'll stay in New Jersey, for crying out loud.
Sorry, Jova.
Jova, it's too late. Tio's already locked the door.
Why? No, this was supposed to be a Halloween full of good movies. No!
See ya.
See ya.